Alrighty, happy Monday morning. It's the Travis Neville Podcast, and I'm Travis Neville. I wrote this book. It's called The Jossman Method, blah, blah. Yes, heard that many times. All right, so last week's podcast I talked, let's back up from there. So the book itself, all right, is about, here are things you can do that are going to make you feel better when you're going through something tough, right? I mean, that's really what it is. It's hey, this is what I did to get myself through something very difficult, and this is what I do when I'm going through something very difficult. And it's broken down into 12 different things, 12 different behaviors that I put together for myself that I know that if I do these things, I'm going to feel better, and it's going to help me produce and get to where I want to be as I'm going through something difficult. So, I've been reading this book by this guy named Simon Sinek, S-I-N-E-K, not cynic like cynical, but S-I-N-E-K is his last name. It's called Leaders Eat Last. And great stuff. I've been listening to it while I work out and while I'm driving, stuff like that. And one of the things he said, he really got into brain chemicals, you know, the different things that actually physically make you feel good. You know, and that's of specific interest to me lately. You know, after the panic attack, I really was interested in what it was that, because like I said, I felt like I got injected with some kind of chemical that, I mean, that's how overwhelming and how quickly it happened. You know what I mean? So I was looking into that, and basically that's adrenaline and cortisol. These are kind of the bad guy chemicals. I mean, good guys. They'll help you stay alive if you need it. That's for sure. But that's what I was feeling kind of rush through my body. And so I started looking into it. And, man, there's just so much connection. And here's the bad news. I'm a drug addict. You know, and so are you. All right? We all are. We're drug addicts. What we're addicted to, it's not adrenaline and cortisol. Those are kind of associated with bad things. But, I mean, adrenaline's fun. But it's the good chemicals, it's the good hormones that your body produces that you are hopelessly fucking addicted to. And you know what? That's a good thing. All right? Because these are the things that they come from production. They come from, you know, working hard. They're great. So, like I said, I was reading this book, and then I dug into it a little bit more. And what I figured out is that there are 4 really good hormones that kind of make you happy. Not kind of, they very much do. So I put together my outline for this week based on those. So let me dig into it. So these are the drugs that you are addicted to, just like I am. The first one, endorphins. I mean, I'm sure you've heard that term endorphins before. This is where you get your runner's high. Endorphins are amazing. They are released when you use your body at a strenuous level, okay? And those people who are addicted to working out, or, you know, just love doing it all the time, these people are endorphin addicts. I mean, it's the runner's high thing. That's what it is. It's endorphins being released in your system and making you feel good. And I'm like, shit. As I was looking into these hormones, the first one, endorphins, I'm like, well, you know, I was going through the 12 things in my book that I do, and holy shit, every one of them taps into one of these fucking feel-good hormones. Like, all I'm doing is, what I did in my book is give you this list of shit that I do that makes these chemicals and hormones get released into my body and makes me feel better. You know? This whole time I thought it was just this unique thing is, I like production and I like working out. And no, it's chemical. I mean, it's very much biological, why that shit works for me and why it'll work for you. So, you know, on the bad side for me, I thought I was being all creative and unique. Nope. I just was being a human being. You know what I mean? The good side, though, is it's a lock. You know, and I said this in the audiobook that working out for me, and I said this to when you're listening, I tell you, hey, it fucking works every time. Every time you work out, you're going to feel better. It's crazy how I just thought that, well, man, maybe that's just me, but It isn't. It's me because I'm a human and you're a human. So a little bit more about endorphins. One of the things that they do besides make you feel good is they block pain. And that's why, like, if you're in a hard workout and you're making crazy blisters on your feet or something like that, you usually don't feel them until after. Like, I can remember playing football on turf when I was younger, and you'd fall, and it didn't really hurt that bad, but then when you got in the shower, holy shit, when the water hits that shit, it's awful. So endorphins, they block pain, and that's a good thing. But it can be, that can be a bad thing. It's good for short term, but if you had endorphins in your system constantly, well, you'd probably have a fuck ton of injuries. You wouldn't even know that they were happening. You know what I mean? So on that end of it, I guess what I'm trying to say here, and I'm going to say this over and over in this session, is that you can't expect these feel-good hormones to be in your body all the time. It's not realistic. Because a few things, obviously, like endorphins specifically, would block all your pain, and then you'd be hurt, you'd be injured. And the other piece that's kind of behind that is you can't expect to be feeling awesome like you do after a workout all the fucking time. You can't. You got to realize that your day's going to have highs and lows. It's going to go up and down, right? It's going to move around on you. And that's healthy and normal. You take the good with the bad, right? Compared to how you feel on a rush of endorphins, nothing's going to really feel that good unless you're doing heroin, which I hear is, they say that if God made anything better than heroin, he kept it for himself. That's what they say. I'm scared to death of that. I know I'll like it, so I'm going to stay the hell away from that shit. So that's what endorphins do for you. Ways to increase it, obviously, like I said, you're looking for like stressful, rigorous exercise. You got to deplete your body. You got to deplete your muscles of glycogen, which is the oxygen that's in your muscles. That's how you get your body to release it. So you got to go pretty hard, and not just kind of once. You got to be in it a while. Like I said, after I do that CrossFit style workout, shout out to Joe DeGain for teaching me how to do that shit. It's a nice addition to how I run my workouts. Joe DeGain at 810 CrossFit. I feel like I'm on a high like crazy. I'm coughing like an idiot because you got to breathe so hard for so long, but I feel really good when I leave that. Here's another thing that'll put endorphins in your body that you would never guess. Eating spicy food, I found out. It's a way to get endorphins in your body. I don't really completely understand it, but I guess there's receptors in your tongue that send signals to your brain that are pretty similar. Okay? So yeah, spicy food. And are there people who are addicted to spicy food like my brother? He loves that shit. And he's not a workout guy. So that's how he gets his endorphins. He eats spicy ass food. Kind of neat. So that's endorphins. That's the first one. It's mostly affiliated with working out hard. That's how you get them. They're going to make you feel like whatever problems in your life really aren't that bad. That's how endorphins will make you feel. Like I've said over and over again, when I get done with a workout, I look at whatever the heck was bothering me before that workout. It's not so bad. You know what I mean? Like, I'm feeling better about it. Like, that's how I feel. That's how you're going to feel when you, get some endorphins rolling through you. Now, and here's how I also broke down my outline. So when I look at endorphins, and I look at the habits in my book, here's how they break down. Habit number 7 is to work out. Holy shit, you're tapping into your endorphins. Habit number 6 is to do home projects. That's another thing it's wired into you genetically to want to create a structure to live in, to settle down and make something that's safe and it's going to keep you warm. And that for me, that's habit number 6, doing a home project, building something, even just cleaning. First you got that physical activity with it. And then it's, like I said, it's genetically wired into you to, that's going to make you feel better. So habit 6 is going to get you endorphins. And then habit 11 says eat well. Fucking get some spicy food in there. If I'm trying to lean out for something, like just drop 6-7 pounds of just fat in a shorter amount of time, which I generally don't do. I haven't done that in a while. I've noticed that if I put, like spiciness, jalapenos or whatever, red pepper and shit, they don't really add any calories, but they add a lot of flavor. So anyway, that's part of eating well. So that's happy hormone number one, endorphins. That's how they work. And like I said, I didn't realize it, but my book just kind of nails that. So it's kind of cool. Happy hormone number two is called serotonin. That's just a mood booster. It's definitely a thing that's going to make you feel like being around other people. It's going to make you feel more sociable. Not having serotonin in you going to make you irritable and give you kind of depression symptoms. And again, that's chemically based. That's in your brain. Matter of fact, most depression medicines are called SSRIs, if you've heard that term before. And those letters stand for selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. So your body creates the serotonin, and as long as it's floating around in you, you're good. But there's parts of your body that absorb it back in. And these SSRIs block that. So not as much can get absorbed, so then there's more of it free floating in your body. That's the basic principle behind it. And will that make you less depressed? Yep, probably. I mean, I'm not really a proponent of that stuff because I tried it, and man, I don't know, I guess it works. I prefer to let my brain function normally, and if that's a thing you do and it helps you, fucking do it. Be thankful that you live in an era where you've got some shit that can help you. I've got a Xanax prescription for when I fly, basically. Anyway, SSRIs, they can help you, and that's how serotonin works. Here are some ways to get that shit to work for you. Let's see. I missed one. Looking at my notes here, and one of them is, habit 10. Getting your mind right, getting your thoughts right, making sure you're thinking positively. Like, one of the first things I say in the book is to, when I get up in the morning, I got to physically make myself smile. There's a lot of days I just don't feel good in the morning. Shit, it's uncomfortable. You're coming out of a peaceful, easy place and going off into the world, and you got to kind of make yourself. You got to force yourself to be happy. And again, that's also a big thing about the book is it's up to you how you are going to have, what kind of mood you're going to have. Now, these chemicals, they certainly impact that, but there are some things you can do to impact the chemicals. So ultimately, you're in control. So 1, choose positive thoughts. Focus on gratitude. I talk about in habit 10, which is finishing your list for the day. I talk about, like making shower time appreciation time, like making your drive time more peaceful, making your thoughts positive, choosing to take some of your 16 hours of thought time and make it more appreciative. I'd go as far as to tell you, that's one reason why religion is so successful, especially Christian religion here in the U.S. Let's look at Catholics, for example. I'm probably going to offend somebody here, but fuck it, I don't care. The whole idea of going into that booth and telling somebody, here's what I did wrong, here are some sins that I had, here's my, making your confessions. That's helpful and that gets shit off your chest. But the once a week, sitting in the pews and listening to a positive message, spending an hour or whatever it is, and hearing some good quality, focused information about how to be happy and about what should be important in your life, basically getting some perspective from an outside source, that's gratitude. Okay, that's one of the ways that you can produce more serotonin in your body. It's having happy events. Like I told you in the last podcast that I like to spend 10 minutes in the morning, and it's not every day, but a lot of days. And I go through my Instagram and I look at pictures of cabins and muscle cars and all these things that just make me think about happy places and happy things. I'm an addict. I'm like shooting myself up with serotonin. That's what I'm doing by doing that. Another way to get more serotonin in your body, get out in the fucking sun. Yeah, sunlight will do it. There's kind of a step between there. So you probably know this, that sunlight helps your body to produce vitamin D. And I supplement that in the wintertime and sometimes in the summer. And it's crazy how it does impact my mood. I'll notice if I miss a day, I'm like, why do I not just feel that good? Oh, fuck, I didn't take my vitamin D this morning. So I fake it and get it in that way. But sunlight does it too. I used the term forest bath before, being outside. It's tough to feel sad when you're outdoors. I mean, unless it's colder than fuck. You know what I mean? But a nice day, you're outside, it helps you feel good. It's because your body's producing serotonin. Low intensity workouts can make you produce serotonin as well. So just like walking, hiking, moving around, folding laundry, vacuuming the house, easy shit that you can do, just any kind of movement, that'll get you some serotonin. Also, tryptophan. You guys heard that term around Thanksgiving, right? It's supposed to be tryptophan, and turkey makes you sleepy. Well, if you can eat the carbohydrates that have tryptophan in it, that also can help you convert your serotonin to make it actually work better for you. So, all you guys who are low carbs, you might be fucking yourself. You got to eat some of it. I don't recommend simple sugar ever, but, some whole oats, fruit, shit like that. Yeah. So the habits that work on this one, like I said, habit number 10, finishing your list. I talk in there a lot, like I said, about, making sure you're positive, that your thoughts are positive and you're working in the right direction. You got your mind where it needs to be as you accomplish each thing that you set in front of yourself for the day. Also, habit number 4, to help somebody. That's a thing that will produce serotonin as well. Habit 9, volunteering, getting outside yourself, doing things for other people. Serotonin's going to be produced when you help people as well. That's a thing that happens. Calling mom or dad, that's getting outside yourself and helping somebody. Habit 11, eating well, that's the carbohydrates thing. So serotonin and endorphins, actually, both of these are pretty social hormones to have in your body. They're going to make you want to be around people, want to help people. They're going to help you with that. We're a social species. We talked about that. That's a pretty common thing. The third happy hormone is it's dopamine. And I guess all of these aren't hormones, but they're all chemicals. We should call them that. So dopamine is a pleasure hormone, and it is a thing that you can get when you work towards a difficult thing. When you have any kind of goals that you've set and you're working towards them, you're going to get a dopamine hit as you make, progress. So when you're trying to lose weight and you stand on that scale and that number's lower, it's closer to where you want it. Wham, you get a dopamine hit. So it's causing you to be addicted to that behavior. If you are trying to make money and you look at your account and holy shit, it's nice and high, wham, you're gonna get a dopamine hit. Anytime you set a goal and move towards it, that's gonna help you. And man, I've got a big list of shit that from my book that is gonna get you a dopamine hit. Yeah, so purposeful, productive, working hard, moving forward, getting shit done. Every night when I look at my whiteboard and I score myself for the day on all the things that I got done, all the points that I had for the day, wham, getting a dopamine hit. Yep, it's good shit. Exercise, of course, can be in that boat if you have a goal, whether it's to get stronger or to lose weight or to go faster. As you achieve those goals, you're going to get hit with the dopamine. And you're not going to get hit from the exercise. You're going to get hit from the achievement. Your body's going to make some dopamine, and wham, you're going to feel better. Yeah, any kind of distance or time or any goal that you set for yourself that way, any goal anywhere. The first thing I talked about was habit 3, producing at work. I talk about setting some goals for yourself that are based on effort, that are measurable, that are achievable. Habit 3, dopamine. Habit 6, doing home projects. Yeah, you physically are getting your shit done, but like when I was remodeling this house, I'd have a goal of, hey, I want to have this room painted by 7 o'clock. And wham, I'd hit that goal, get a dopamine hit. Habit 8, automotive project. I just went out there and did an alignment on that buggy. By the way, it's running and it's faster than shit. It's a little scary. I had it doing 50 down my road. It's just a little buggy, so it's... Anyway, that feels great to have that project completed. Habit 10, finishing your list. Same thing, like I told you, sitting there at my whiteboard at the end of the day, looking through everything I got done and how well I did it. I mean, that's huge. Habit 7, working out, getting a workout in for the day, that sense of accomplishment you get at the end of it, you're going to get dopamine. So a lot of these habits, they cross over. There's a lot of things you can do where you're going to produce 1, 2, 3 different hormones that are all going to make you feel good. And holy shit, those are probably the ones you're going to want to do more and more. And then habit 5, playing guitar. Like I always want to be able to get through a whole song without making a mistake. And when I can do that, wham, dopamine hit. Yeah, that shit's pretty good. And then of course, drinking moderately, that's going to make you, let me back that up. So here's why dopamine, it can be bad. Dopamine, if you prioritize incorrectly as you're going through some shit, you could cause addiction. Like, for example, gambling, making that money. When you win, that's a big dopamine hit. So there are some things you can engage in that are not healthy, but they are going to produce the dopamine. And that's really what you're after. Same thing with drinking a lot. When you drink a lot, you'll get yourself in this euphoric mood, and that could create the dopamine as well. Finish your list, playing guitar. Yeah. So these are all the things that I put in the book that really I'm just doing a great job of outlining how to harness all the good chemicals that are in your head. It's pretty crazy. Happy hormone number 4. It's called oxytocin. And this one, it's basically ecstasy. Okay? Oxytocin it's the love hormone. All right? You get it when you hug somebody, having sex, any kind of feeling, touching with a person. I can tell you that when I'm, like I say, it's wintertime and it's been a lockdown here, and I work from home by myself. I live by myself. When and I go to the gym and I don't talk to anybody. I'm all business when I'm there, and then I come home. If I go a while and I don't actually get to be around anybody, man, when I see somebody and I get a hug, it's like, oh my God, did that feel good? Like better than it should have. You know what I mean? And then I realized, fuck, I need more contact with people. This is not good. Your body needs it. You got to have that oxytocin. Like oxytocin is like, you are going to be, say you're living in a hippie commune. Everybody's holding hands and singing Kumbaya, and everything's about happiness and peace and shit. Those are oxytocin addicts. Those people are free love and all this shit. They're just addicted to oxytocin. That's what it is. And probably pot. Not that you get addicted to that, but that definitely doesn't make you a bad person. Totally legal now, even when it wasn't. Yeah, so oxytocin, that gives you the feeling of love, falling in love with somebody. That's oxytocin. Trusting someone too, similar. Like when I look around the coaching staff that I work with and I trust these guys, when we go into a meeting and I get a little oxytocin hit just by being around them because I know how much trust we have. Same thing with my friends, high school friends. When I get to have lunch with my buddy Jason or whatever, see somebody, hang out with them, that's what makes it feel good to be around your friends, is that trust and that love that you have for each other. That's oxytocin. Here are some other things that can jack it up for you. Go get a massage. Having anyone touch you is going to make oxytocin. It fucking feels great. If you've never gone and had a professional massage, I recommend it. I really recommend it. It's awesome. It improves your emotional well-being. And actually, oxytocin will relax your muscles too, so it actually helps the effect of the massage. Any kind of physical chance, any kind of physical contact, when you get a chance, hug people hug people you love, get around them. Your body needs it. Even a high five or a knuckle bump, anything like that. Like, it's awesome. What it does is it builds relationships. So like when I go in and I meet a new client, and I'm trying to establish this trusting relationship, basically I'm going to go do a whole bunch of work for you up front. I'm going to give you a guy, and you hire him, and I don't get a penny until he starts working for you. And there's got to be some trust there. Like, I've got to trust that you're going to pay me. I've got to trust that you're not going to waste my time. You have to trust that I'm not going to, I guess, I bill you incorrectly or anything like that. But there needs to be some trust there. When I go in and I meet a new client and we make a deal and he signs my contract and I sign it, and this only happened once, and he doesn't shake my hand, part of it's weird. Like I'm thinking, can I really trust this guy? Like I go into that relationship kind of feeling uneasy, and that's because I haven't had the oxytocin hit to build the trust. I need that handshake. You don't need to hug me, but a handshake, that'll go a long way. Yeah, it's wonderful. It's amazing, actually. Oxytocin is fantastic. Being around somebody, making love to somebody, having sex, that's a great feeling. You guys hopefully have all felt that. It builds tremendous trust. That's why they call having sex, they call it making love, because that oxytocin, that's building that trust. It's building that love. It really is. It's a cool thing. Now, again, like I told you about endorphins, you can't expect to feel like that all the time. You can't. If you had that all the time, you'd basically be your stereotypical senior citizen who gets scammed by everybody who calls them. Because they trust everyone. They love everybody. Okay, no problem. Oh, everybody's great. Everybody's awesome. And then you get fucked. Yeah, so you can't have it floating around all the time. But when you do have it, appreciate it, enjoy it. When you're feeling bad, seek it out. Go find it. It'll help you. That's why, another reason, I look at my dating life and the people that I have run into certainly early on, where I will tell you they're not ready to be dating. They're not ready to certainly be having a relationship, maybe ready to be dating, but and they want to be all over you. They get all handsy. They need that dopamine to pull them out of the fucking depression they're in. Or I'm sorry, they need that oxytocin to pull them out of that depression they're in. It makes sense. Habits that tap into this. Habit number 12, calling mom or dad. Or going and visiting them, I guess. You got to have that contact with them. You're going to hug your mom and your dad. I hope you are. Habit number 4, helping somebody. If somebody gives you a hand with something, you're going to get a handshake or a hug afterwards. Or you help somebody out, that's what's going to happen. It's going to make you feel good on a lot of levels, and that contact is going to be good shit. I have a note here. It says, have you noticed that huggers tend to be pretty happy people? You know what? If you're a hugger, probably got a smile on your face because you are an oxytocin addict. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool. So those are the 4 feel-good chemicals that work in your brain. We talked a little bit about how SSRIs can affect that. What alcohol does. It increases some and decreases others. And then tomorrow, the ones that were increased are going to be lower than they were to begin with. And so there's a lot of chemical things that work into there. And that's drinking moderately. That's all of them. And the bad guys, like I said, what started this research for me was going through that panic attack. And what was being released in me was cortisol, which you guys have probably heard of as this is like a stress hormone, like where you have a real stressful job or you go through a stressful incident. What it does is it helps, along with adrenaline, it's going to make your body stronger, better, more able to fight off or flight, either fight or flight. But the downside is those chemicals, what they do is they prioritize body functions, okay, which are like your muscles, basically. It isn't your sharp thinking, which you'd hope it would be, but it's not. But what it hinders things like that. It determines non-essential. Cortisol and adrenaline are going to set aside digestion. They're going to set aside immune response. They're going to set aside a bunch of things in your body that aren't immediately necessary. So when you're in a job that's stressful as shit, or you go through something that's stressful as shit, you got this cortisol and this adrenaline, and you probably cortisol more and adrenaline not very often. But you think about that, it's just stereotypical as shit. The guy who, he's a stressful ass job his whole life, and his fucking guts don't work right. He's always got indigestion, acid reflux when you're in a real stressful life. You're sick all the time when you're stressed out. That's because of cortisol. It's not letting your body do what it needs to do. And so like I said, these are chemicals that will affect you, and a lot of it sometimes can be completely, I'm going to call it this. These chemicals, they're not like your heartbeat. You can't really impact you can make your heart rate come up and down, but you can't stop your heart from beating. I mean, unless you kill yourself, right? These chemicals are more like your breathing, where it will happen automatically on its own, but you do have control over it. You want to hold your breath, you can, until your body tells you can't anymore. You want to slow down your breathing, speed up your breathing. You do have control over that. It's just that when you're not thinking about it, your body will do it on automatically for you, right? So think about your happiness the same way. If you're not in control of it, at least some of the time, your body will take over, and it might not be sending you the shit that you want. You know what I mean? Like, you can control your moods just with these things I'm telling you to do. Working out, doing home projects, eating right, helping somebody, all the shit that I put in my book. Like I said, the upside is that the shit that's in my book is that there's actually science behind it. I'm not just pulling it out of thin air. It's real shit. The downside is I'm not as creative as I thought I was. I'm not as unique as I thought I was, but that's what it is. All right, guys. There's let's go through them again. Number 1, endorphins, working out, feeling good. Painkiller. Serotonin makes you sociable. If it's not there, irritability, depression. Not antidepressants, they focus on serotonin. Dopamine, that's pleasure, that's accomplishment, that's being proud of yourself, that's driving a fancy car, wearing something with the fancy logo on the outside. That's going to give you a sense of status, a dopamine hit. That's why people like their name brands and shit. They're dopamine heads. Oxytocin, that's the physical touch. Certainly one of my favorites, that's for sure, because that shit feels pretty good. It's that's the love hormone. So those are the 4. You focus on doing the things that are going to make those release in your body, and I promise you'll have a whole lot less of the bad guys, which are cortisol. And, adrenaline's fun sometimes, but usually that's coming with you when you're doing some exercise or fired up about something or competing. Cortisol is really the bad guy there. But that's what they are. Those are the brain chemicals that you're messing with. Use them wisely. Use them as often as you can. Be careful that the things you're doing aren't things that are negative, that are producing these. Like I said, gambling is an example. Wanting to be around any random woman just so that you can have that hit. Try to be careful with that too as you're going through your shit. But that's how your brain works. That's how my book taps into it. Had a great time chatting about this today. It was fun researching it, and hope you guys have a great week. This is the Travis Neville Podcast. You can get the book all over the place. Just Google it. Jossman is a really rare word. It'll come up. And you get the audio book. I got a bunch more of these podcasts. Hope you guys have a great week. Take care.